have to show that footage anyway. Well, it takes a class driver anyway to block New Holland as hard as he did anyway. So I've never done that in my life. He did some job in it, to be honest, but anyway.
Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand.
The weather is fine, it's very relaxed, but as soon as someone mentions the word rain, it's hell for leather.
Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Yeah, overall, a lot of it's the same, very similar sort of aspect. Just grass goes in, bales comes out kind of thing worldwide, so.
I'm Trevor Cronin, Cronin Brothers, Agri, County Cork. Our late father started it probably, I don't know the exact time, but it was probably back in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s even. He started the business, and we kind of stepped in and took over then in the early 90s really, early 2000s. We took it over from him, and it just went from there really, it grew from there. I have two older brothers. My next brother is Greg, and my oldest brother then is Derry. We're all three of us are heavily involved in the business really. Well, both the contracting and the dairy farm as well. So it's all run as a whole unit really. So the three of us are involved in the daily running, and we all have our own key roles in it, I suppose, as you could say. But we all have our own bit to do with it, and what not to do, and what to stay clear of, and what to do every day, you know, and stay out of each other's way when we're supposed to. Well, I suppose Derry does all the financial work for us. He does all the money and the bills and stuff like that, and which is important to the whole thing. And Greg and myself then, Greg does a lot with the cows, as well as Derry, and Greg and myself then do a lot of the maintenance work and obviously the driving and all that crack every day as well, and keeping the show on the road really. Back to the early days, my father was contracting. Our mother did an awful lot with the cows. She probably kept the show on the road too for a lot of years. She was the glue that kept us all together, you know. And she kept the show going and kept the cows in the yard as well and everything as well. So she was an important role to us as well at home, you know, as well as our father was, you know. Basically, he started off, I would say, basically was mowing hay. That was his gig. That's what he started doing really. And sure, just grew from there. His first harvester was a New Holland, or was it a Kid? I can't remember actually, double chop. He had an 8-1 was his main Ford tractor, and we still have that at home actually. And he bought that new one, I think it was 76 or 77 or something. And started cutting silage with a double chop, and it grew from there really. My mother was doing the cows most of the time back then, you know, and when he was busy during the summer work and all that. And sure, as I said to you, she kept the show on the road, you know, like all mothers do really, you know. To be honest, a lot of our customers were his customers as well, you know, and we kept them together, and we held on to them, and it's kind of just grown from there for us really, you know. He was a great character, you know, and he enjoyed the work and everything as well, you know, and he had a good customer base, and we were never forced or pushed into it. That was never a topic of conversation really or anything, you know. It was just if we wanted to go at it, we can go at it, and that's the way he looked at it really, you know. I don't ever remember being told you had to go doing this or had to go doing that, or it was never said to any of the three of us really, you know. We can never look back and say, why did I do that? Because it was our own decision. In 2004 and 5, and we were really pushing the business on, and then in 2006, I suppose, that's when everything kind of changed really. He passed away from suicide in May 2006, and sure, left us up in a bit of a heap really. So we were young, the three of us, and just kind of a touch and go. We had to do the silage in 2006 because, you know, everything was there for it. But the people that rolled in to help us that year, just cousins and relations and drivers and you name it, that helped us get through 2006 really, and that summer and everything. And So look, we stayed at it and here we are now, really, you know. He had a few ups and downs along the way, you know, but like, I wouldn't say he was sick by no means, if you know what I, you know. Like, you know, I wouldn't say things were very bad or anything, like, you know, like, Jesus, we all have ups and downs, you know, and we all get down a bit, but he might have got down a bit, but I wouldn't by no means say he suffered from depression or anything, you know. Yeah, it was a complete, just spur of the moment thing, you know. It was just, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It just happened so fast, you know, and we were just thrown in the middle of it, you know, and our mother as well, you know, and sure, as I said, she kept us all together and we got through it, you know. It's not talked about half enough, and look, agriculture especially, you know, it's tough going there, and like farmers, long hours and on their own, you know, and they are suffering, you know, finding it hard to get staff as well and everything, you know, and they're there on their own trying to do the work of two men and on their own, you know. It's bound to get them down, you know, but look, they don't talk about it half enough, you know. I know this stigma in farming, you know, that just the big man and you can't talk about these things, you know. You can't be seen to give up farming or give up cows. You have to do it, you have to stay at it, you know, and you know, no, you can talk to, you know. Like, there's nothing stopping any of the three of us heading away next week for a week, you know, when things do quieten down a bit. And sure, look, my other two brothers can pick up the slack, or I can pick it up for them, you know, and it's just pressure off then, you know. It's not talked about enough. Look, I just talk about, like, I know it sounds bad, but I talk to anyone about depression all day long, you know, and it's a tough thing to live with, you know. But anyway, that's where we are today, anyway.
My name is Greg Cronin, mowing here for Richard O'Callaghan in Vickerstown in Cork. Yeah, in the middle of the three of us. Derry is the eldest, Trevor is the youngest. We are very fortunate to have three of us here running this business. It would be very tough, not that we're running a huge scale operation, but the scale that we have, you know, between like even contracting alone. I know there's contracting and dairy, but the contracting alone, it would be difficult enough to run with two or one. It's just having three there. We all have our own little department. Like Derry runs everything financial. He looks after all the leases, the loans, paying bills, collecting money. He does everything and is absolutely outstanding. And Trevor and myself don't get involved, which is ideal. Trevor looks after parts, maintenance, everything outstanding. He'd have a part before to be broken. And look, I'm just there. I look after the breeding of the cows and running the herd and stuff, and repairs and keeping machines going. But just very lucky that there's three of us there. And I think it would be very difficult for us to run if we didn't have the three of us there. Look, we're running a nice steady ship, and if it'll stay going the way it is, we'll be quite happy. We're not looking to take over the world. If we can hold on to what we have, we're happy to keep going the way we're going. Look, to be honest, we always say if you can hold on to the work that you have, we'll do fine. This season will be really good to us. Little bit stop-start at the beginning. We did a week of silage, then we got a wet week, which we covered a pile of slurry, got on top of things again, and kept all the lads very busy, and got back into the next week of silage again, and I'd say in the next 2 or 3 days we should be all done. At the beginning, you don't know how you're going to get through it, but then when you kind of come into the last 6 or 7 jobs, you could feel like you could take on another 10 jobs. But yeah, it is a relief, to be fair. Look, I haven't been home much in the last 2 or 3 weeks because we had a very busy planting season before the silage, and that rolled straight into the silage. And yeah, looking forward to spending a bit of time at home now, to be fair. We'll carry 3 or 4 lads now for the whole summer. Plus the 3 of us, and a couple coming and going at the same time. But yeah, we'll be very busy, like from March all the way through till probably the start of October. But November, December for us are very, very quiet. So which is fine because it gives us a chance to regroup, get gear ready for the following year, milking cows and stuff. So we need a bit of time at home for calving cows and winter feeding and all that. Like, so look, the way it works for us works well. We do enjoy our time off at the end of the year. So we start calving the 1st of January and try to have the bulk of our calving done before the end of February. And we have calves and everything sorted before we get back on the road we'd contract you again. So maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it was 3 weeks long the season. It's getting shorter and shorter, and it just feels like more smash and grab all the time. But look, it's all down to the weather. If the weather is fine, it's very relaxed. You have all your customers ready to cut, but they're willing to wait. But as soon as someone mentions the word rain, it's hell for leather. So it just like, rain is no problem. Rain is great. When it starts raining, you know you have to stop. But when they start talking about rain, it's just the end of it, really.
G'day, yeah, I'm Ben Height from New Plymouth, Taranaki, over in New Zealand, and working over here for Cronin Bros and Coachford. Well, I was farming there a few years ago, and then decided I wanted to start driving tractors. So went and applied for a tractor driving job for a contractor and got it, and then been to a couple others since then. And yeah, this will be my 14th or 15th season now, I think, driving tractors between Ireland and New Zealand. So, well, originally I was looking at going over to England to work there for a winter, well, New Zealand winter, come over for a season and put up a bit of an ad, sort of a CV on a few Facebook groups. And Trevor there messaged me first. He was just first out the gate and said, "Oh, we're in Ireland. Would you look at coming here?" And I said, "Yep, no worries." So, and that was back in 2015. So I was over here for the 2016, 17, 18 seasons, and back for 2024 season. So just one, maybe 2 phone calls and a few Facebook messages, and had a look on their Facebook page, and they looked a pretty good crowd to work for. So I took a chance and jumped on a plane, really. Best thing we ever did. Pretty much just about the whole fleet's been changed since I first turned out. There's only the 2 tractors left that were here when I first started, was the T7040 and the oldest T7270, and had the 3 wagons, Stroutman loader wagons, and they're gone now. So yeah, you got the harvester and trailers now instead, so it's a big change. When I first came out, I was driving John Deere's for a fella there, and then came here to the New Hollands, and then went back home to another contractor then for New Hollands again, and then the last 4 seasons I've been driving Fence and McHale balers the whole way through. They're very popular over in New Zealand there now, so yeah, it's very similar but very different at the same time. First cut is definitely a good run. You know, there'd be a lot happening all at once kind of thing. You could go ploughing in the morning and then go power harrowing in the afternoon and baling towards the evening there again. You know, might get 2 or 3 different implements jobs in during the same day kind of thing. And it's good, you're not stuck on one machine all day, every day kind of thing. So you get a different chance to, you know, go with the chopper crew and hang out with those guys for a day or 2, and then you end up mowing or baling again. And yeah, it's a good way to see the different spots, because not every farm would do bales, or not every farm would do harvester work, so you get to see a good bit of the countryside that way then. Yeah, back home, especially where I've been working there the last few years, it's very pumicey soil, very, very light soil, so the grass growth is definitely nowhere near as good as what it is here. You know, sort of back home, sort of 10, 20 bales to the hectare would be a good crop. Over here it's sort of like 30 to 40 bales to the hectare. So yeah, overall a lot of it's the same, very similar sort of aspect. Just grass goes in, bales comes out kind of thing worldwide. So
still quite a bit of baling on, but yeah, we're coming to the end of the pit silage now on first cut. Yeah, we're glad to see the end of it now, to be honest. Been a bit of a start-stop season, you know, but it's went well for us. We can't complain, you know. We've actually had a brilliant run, blessed with staff, to be honest, which is the key part to it. And yeah, breakdowns have been very small, to be honest. We've had a few hiccups, but anyway, we got up and running and got on the road again, and that's all you can do, you know, to deal with it and go again the next. It's tough going, you know. The other halves are, look, I suppose we're lucky, they're all very understanding with us, you know, and they know it's a family business, and look, they like to see us at it too, you know, from the point of view of the work we're doing. But it's just, look, it can be tough, all right, you know, it has its days and its moments, you know, and then something goes wrong and it says you'll be home at a certain time and you're not home, but look, they understand, you know, so that's part of it. But look, it's seasonal work too, you know, like I see next week, pressure's going to be off us, like, you know, I can't see any reason why we can't be home at a reasonable hour next week, really, you know. We're lucky with the crew lads we have, and they can do everything for us as well, you know, so they can pick up the slack for us if we want to go home early, like, you know. Like, we don't mind putting in the hours this time of year, you know, but look, there's a place called Stop too, you know, and family come first as well. I suppose we have kind of 3 full-time staff with us all year round, and then we have all the seasonal lads that come in helping us out then as well. And it was just, we're lucky. I don't know how it falls into place every year, you know. We just always have enough. And our regular lads say, you know, that were with us 20 years ago, come back to us again to help us out, and sure, they just love it as well, you know, and taking holidays and, you know, doing their own thing with their own work to make time for us, to help us out. And sure, look, only for them, we'd have nothing, sure. There's only 3 of us there, we can't do everything, and only for them, you know. And it's good old crack with them now, they're a good bunch of lads, but look, we don't try and work them to the bone, you know. They know they have to do it, and they have to do it, and look, it's all about getting out to it on the odd night for a pint and a drink, you know, or have a few bottles at home when we get home or whatever, so you have to show that footage anyway. Well, it takes a class driver anyway to block New Holland as hard as he did anyway, so I've never done that in my life. Well, I did it afterwards anyway, so I can't talk, but he did some job in it, to be honest, but anyway. So yeah, that was all a bit of crack anyway. So yeah, it was good to see him now, look, but we'll never let that down anyway, what happened to him here anyway. I met Pa in 2018 when I went out there for a holiday, Christmas 2018, and then Kieran, the guy there driving the loader there for us, Kieran's been driving the loader for a good few years. Kieran drove from then for a small bit out there as well, actually in the contractor Pa was working for before he started his own business. And yeah, he's just home for a few weeks and he came down to visit us today. So yeah, it was good to see him now. I hadn't seen him in 6 years, but we've kept in touch a good bit, so it's good to see him there today. He's off raking there now for us, so it's good to see him. Look, you saw us when we got blocked earlier on, you know, sure, there's a bit of banter about it. I know year round, but sure, look, it would have been the same thing if he weren't there anyway, you know. It happens and you go again. It's not like this machine never blocks, you know. It breaks down as well, you know, so we just get on and go with it, you know. We learned that now years ago with the stress thing, that don't take it home if you can, you know. Sure, look, I suppose, as I said to you a while ago, look, with what happened with our father, you know, I suppose that is in the back of our head the whole time, you know, and we don't want to, sure, what's it all for if you're taking it home or you're getting stressed about it? Look, don't get me wrong, we do get stressed about it from time to time, but sure, look, we just, you know, we just try not to get us down too much, you know.
Yeah, we did 18 or 19 years with the wagons. Sure, look, they were great at the beginning, but I suppose when the milk quotas went, the draws just got longer. It was people really couldn't get land, I suppose, maybe that close to them, and the silage was always going to be on the furthest away block, and we just ended up drawing that. The draws were getting a bit too much for us, so to get extra wagons in, there was none available because they were going to be at their own silage as well. So we worked very hard with the wagons. We had to put in very, very long shifts to get the acres done. Now, look, we got through it, but when you start getting into heavy crops and long draws, that's a killer. So look, it just made sense for us to go back to the harvester. Look, we get home a bit earlier, so. Look, they worked well for us. We made them work well for us. It's just, look, the draws were just taking too long. And I suppose, look, we had a fair workload to do as well. So just to get through that workload quicker, we needed to move grass faster. And look, when we have long draws, we have a couple of lads there. You can call them up. They'll bring in their tractors and trailers and just blow it out of it and just move on to the next job. So look, to be honest, at this stage of the game for us, it's all about getting home sooner. You know, the days are long enough, and look, we all have, the 3 of us have young family, and we want to get home to them. So that's just the way it is, you know. I suppose when we were younger, look, you'd work all the hours that God gave. Running pot-hunter mowers there, we've got 2 new back mowers this year. They're the V10,000s, cutting 32 feet out to the last. Fair power demand on the tractor now, to be fair, but crops are getting heavy. We had X8s. Look, they're the same but different. They're cutting wider, but basically they're fairly similar. But they have a power control box, which is a nice box. It runs on low intensity hydraulics, so you're not depending on the remote valves on the tractor. The New Hollands wouldn't have a great track record for the electric spools, so we're not depending on them at all. So it's just It's running on load sensing, and you have your electric controls in, so it simplifies it. Look, I know it's the oldest tractor in the yard, but it's fairly reliable, to be fair. It is remapped, it is try out a good few extra horsepower to run the mowers, but it's probably still the most comfortable tractor in the yard, so I'm happy enough to drive it. It has auto steer fitted to it, so it does a lot of the planting jobs. I use the auto steer quite a lot with mowing as well. Works very well when I have the two sets of mowers out when we're working together. The auto steer works well. I can leave 20 feet for the other mower, and there's no guesswork in it. He just cuts out what's left. The tractor wasn't exactly set up for auto steer, so we're using the Trimble steering wheel. It's the electric steering wheel. Yeah, it works well. It works well. Like even like mowing up to good speeds there, it holds the line pretty good. Yeah, there's 5 Blue Power 270s and this 270. We have a T7 210, a T6 180, and a 7040. We don't look for how new a tractor is when we're buying second hand. We're basically looking at the hours and the spec. They're always well looked after. Look, we've enough of them bought now. We're a fairly good judge on what we're getting. Now you can get unlucky, but touch wood, we've been very lucky so far on what we've bought in. The last tractor we bought was new, but it just so happened that way. We're pretty handy to repairs ourselves as well. The only thing we're really short is some of the laptop. Like that tractor is pushing over 13,000 hours. 4 years ago, we were kind of worried that something should probably go wrong with the gearbox. So we took out the hydrostat just to make sure everything was okay. We put a new hydrostat solenoid into it, and we said we'd keep looking, and we put in a new set of synchronizer inside it. And other than that, like we haven't really done anything to that tractor since we've got it. She's been very, very reliable. There's a couple of mechanics that are very good to us there. We can just pick up the phone and call them if there's something that we can't get through. But look, with diagnostics, they all have a self-diagnostic system, and you can, to be fair, you can pull a lot of the fault codes off of a phone, and you get yourself going 90% of the time.
We were always New Holland anyway. So TS's 8360, and then moved on to TM 190 and 165, and then started buying kind of 270s really. Bought 270s out of the UK, and the first two were a standard colour, say, and it kind of went from there really. I don't know, just we bought one Blue Power and we liked it, and next thing another one came and another one came, and that's where I went from there really. And look, we liked them, you know, they stand out and they're nice, you know. So, and look, the lads like driving them as well, you know, and look, I know they're over their job, you know, but they're very reliable. I have to say it, like we cannot fault those tractors. They give trouble, like, you know, they're bits and pieces, you know, like there's a 4-wheel drive bearing goes in them, but we try and look through all them every year in the winter, make sure that they're right for the coming year again. It's just a maintenance thing on them really. It's like changing the oil to us, doing the bearings on them, and but they're just very reliable. They're over their job. I don't think we've ever touched an engine, say, of the tier 4As or tier 4Bs or tier 5s. Never done anything like that. We've looked into a few auto command gearboxes, but they were all up in 10, 12, 14,000 hours before we went into them. And to be honest, I don't think we never had one actually break down on us. We always just went into them for a maintenance purpose at the end of a season, because we knew they were just getting a bit, you know, there was an AB pack was starting to go on them, you know, we just know. But I don't think, like, we have a short wheelbase, all right, we wouldn't rate that a 210 auto command. I just know we won't buy another one of them. Reliability, to be honest, I know it's there, it does its job, it has its place, but we wouldn't buy another short wheelbase. We wouldn't buy another short wheelbase full stop, I'd say. We just stick with the long wheelbases now. We're able to keep a share of parts for them that's needed, and they're all interchangeable. Filters are the same in all of them. Yeah, but look, we like the New Hollands. You know, the one thing we like about them, we find them easy fix, you know, because look, Greg and myself do most of the maintenance work and the repair work, and we just find them easy to fix, and once you can get stuck into them, you know. You know, like the newer ones now are getting a bit trickier, all right, but look, just deal with it and go again, you know. We love slavery, I think, Greg and myself. Sure, it wouldn't bother us to tackle into something late at night or early in the morning, you know, and look, we'll give it our best shot to get something going again, you know. But no, look, we're happy enough, you know. And we probably have an extra tractor in the yard as well, so look, if something does go down, you know, we can keep going. And look, I'm not trying to give a plug for New Holland or anything, you know, but it's just, look, they are a good tractor, we find. Look, we like them, they work for us, and that's no, we would never change, no.
Probably potentially my last year at this stage, because I'll be going back home there. I'm setting up my own business there, so I've got my own contracting outfit there. Brought some machinery over the last year or two there, so we're setting that up, and when I go back for be my first season now, when I move back home for the 24-25 season back home there. So at the moment I've just got a tractor and a combi and a mower and a rake, and I got a 85-60 New Holland, so she's an old girl, but she goes all right. Yeah, they are good. I've done a few hours now on one of them, so I do love them. That's probably what I'll stick with New Holland back home at this stage anyway, just because there's a good market there with the second-hand New Holland, so can't afford a new one just yet, so we'll stay with the second-hand ones and whatnot and build a fleet up from there, I hope. Look at buying another tractor and a trailer when I go back home there, and eventually, yeah, just keep it baling really. It's good money, but well, I don't know if it's good money in any contracting really. It's good fun though, but it's probably just stay at baling really and cultivation work. Probably won't look again into the harvester side of the chopper side of it back home. There's too many guys at that already back there. So well, yeah, never say never. Some guys I worked for before, they're good, but then you're just a number in the pipeline there, whereas here you're one of the family, you know, you go, they'll take you up to their house for tea, or, you know, farmers around the show, they take, you know, they'll bring you dinner out to the field. I think if you can keep your drivers and staff happy, that's going to be a big part of the success, I'd like to hope anyway. I don't know, we'll see. I'd like to sort of go to maybe not quite the size of what these guys are, probably only have 6 tractors and a couple balers and a couple sets of double mowers, you know, have a couple guys full time and a couple guys over the season extras. So I mean, that would be ideal, but that's what a lot of guys say, and then they end up getting too big too quick, so I'll try and keep it as small as I can. If I wasn't living in New Zealand, I'd be living here. So it is a real cool spot, and you're just one of the community, like, because I've been gone for 6 years, and you see all the farmers and you turn up and like, oh, how you going? And you know, have a chat to them, and you see them down in the pub there, and you know, you're chatting away and you're having beers with them, or you go to their place for dinner or something, and it is a great spot.
It's very good around our area here. There's probably 4 contractors in the area that we're covering. You know, we all chat to each other, and if anyone was stuck on the side of the road, we all stop and, you know, if the time came or whatever, you know. So we're lucky enough that way. We're very lucky around here. There's no real chopping and changing of customers or anything like that at all. To be honest, we're not bullying for any extra work. We're happy with what we do, leave it at that, and that's the bottom line of it. It's worked for us, and you know, we're happy to keep it going for a good while yet anyway, and just keep it the way it is. That's the way we look at it. I probably definitely didn't see the workload as big as it is. Wouldn't have seen the turnover to grow as big as it is. Probably wouldn't have seen it to be as successful as it is, that kind of way. But look, when moving forwards, isn't it all about getting bigger? You know, I actually would not agree with that. You know, sometimes it's always better to take a step back, and you'll see a bit more success and a bit more turnover. And you know, as the accountant says to us, it's not about your turnover; it's about what's left over.
Like we've achieved a lot, you know, even in our own time since we took it off from our father. Look, we just make sure that the lads are happy in what they're doing. Look, we're proud of what we have, and look, but there is good satisfaction in doing jobs and doing them well and having good gear. And as I said to ourselves at home, it's not too many that can get up in the morning and just be happy about going to work. It's a nice feeling to be happy to go down to the yard and just get stuck in and, you know, do what you have to do.
I'd be talking to them on the phone on back home over our season, and be keeping in touch with what's happening around the place, and going away for weekends away or going out nights out with them, and just get treated like one of the family here. You don't get held back from nothing, so best bosses I've had, yeah. Best thing I ever did was take that chance and jump on a plane and come to Ireland, and I've loved every minute I've been here.